election reform, marijuana legislation, and tenant protection. Today's annual State of the State address in Albany presenting many new policies and plans for New York State. And tonight we have live team coverage on the address, breaking down what New York can expect to see in the coming year.
18 News reporter Tai Wong breaks down all of the new policies on the way, along with what local lawmakers are saying about the State of the State address. One policy that could be big change for New York is the legalization of marijuana. 18 News reporter Grant Chungo tells us what this means for the southern tier. And lastly, 18 News reporter Elise Kim has more on commercial tenant protections and the relief they could be bringing as businesses continue to struggle within the orange zone. We start off tonight in the 18 News Satellite Center. Ty?
Yeah, good evening, Zach and Jordan. During the State of the State address earlier today, Governor Andrew Cuomo discussed critical issues here in New York. Now, today I did speak with local officials, and they say they were not pleased with the address.
We now turn towards 2021 with a spirit of optimism that is grounded in experience.
Governor Cuomo touching on many topics during his State of the State address to not only combat COVID-19, but to fix critical issues in the Empire State for 2021. Assemblyman Phil Palmisano weighing in on the governor's address saying,
well, certainly the governor presented another ambitious agenda today. However, I think we really need to see more details on how he plans to pay for this agenda and address our state's projected $15 billion budget deficit.
New York's 58th District Senator Tom O'Mara also weighing in on the governor's address.
The governor's State of the State was disappointing in the fact of what direction he wants to take this state in. Clearly, we're in very difficult times. There was way too much finger pointing at other people in the State of the State address and not enough about what he's going to do.
One topic Governor Cuomo discussed, election votes. This comes as the 22nd district continues to not have a representative. Another big topic, marijuana and raising taxes. Assemblyman Palmisano saying there's already a drug problem in our state, and instead of raising taxes, the governor should loosen COVID-19 restrictions to let businesses struggling in the orange zone reopen.
We need to loosen those restrictions. You've seen what's going on in Chemung County right now. Some of these businesses have been shut down for in-person dining for going on 11 weeks now. These businesses aren't going to survive being able to shut down.
And as many continue to work from home and learn from home, affordable broadband access was another big topic during the address.
The governor talked about making it affordable. I think he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, because last year in the budget, they put in place a fiber optic tax fee that basically allows the DOT to collect a fee for any development of broadband along the right-of-way.
Now, Assemblyman Palmisano says that if we want to expand broadband internet access for everyone, we have to get rid of that tax. Now, also during the State of the State address today, marijuana legalization was a big issue, something that 15 other states have already legalized. Well, we now toss it over to our 18 News reporter Grant Chungo, who's live with more on how this can impact the southern tier. Grant.
Yeah, good evening, Ty. So Governor Cuomo did announce a proposal to legalize cannabis here in New York State for adult recreational use. Now, this was all part of his 2021 State of the State address earlier. Now, if done, New York will join the other 15 states to legalize marijuana, including Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Vermont here up in the Northeast. Now, today, 18 News spoke with President of the New York Cannabis Growers and Processors Association, who had some really bold claims in regards to this new legislation.
It would have a bigger impact on the upstate economy than the craft beer industry does. This is done correctly. We will see $1 billion in total revenue for the adult use program in the first full year operating in New York State.
Now, the biggest factors will be what kind of licenses the state gives out, what size acreage they will actually allow for growing, and whether or not there is a heavy tax burden that people will not be able to complete. Now, he says this is a big if, but he does hope that this will follow through. Now, while this is having a lot of revenue come in possibly for New York State, local businesses are really struggling around here. Our 18 News reporter Elise Kim is live in downtown Elmira with more. Elise?
Thanks, Grant. That's right. Governor Andrew Cuomo is proposing to extend the moratorium on COVID-related commercial evictions until May 1st. Now, that's intended to help local business and restaurant owners that rely on customers and tourism for their business. That includes businesses right here in the orange zone. According to the New York State website, this proposed legislation will also prohibit late fees and penalties for renters.
They want to extend that protection from residential to commercial properties. And the reason for doing this is to protect small businesses. Small businesses, especially restaurants, are obviously seeing decreased revenues and having a hard time making their rent.
She says if that bill doesn't pass, then evictions and foreclosures could be implemented starting the end of January for commercial tenants, but says just because there is an eviction moratorium does not mean that these places will never have to pay rent. This relief extends only until May unless it's extended again. Now, Zarples advises landlords and tenants to negotiate now before the law is put into place. Live in downtown Elmira, Elise Kim, 18 News.